Hey guys. This video is going to be a preview of Tokyo Revengers live action. Let's get down to the video. The movie starts with a bizarre beginning. We see a man being chased with a car. We see the one and only Kasaki Teta and Seino Manjiro, nicknamed Mikey, inside the car. We see Mikey with Draken's dragon tattoo and black hair. Next, we see a rural and shady-looking house, Takamichi's house. His room literally looks like a dump site, like it hasn't been cleaned before. Takamichi saw the news about the death of Hinata Tachibana and Tachibana Naoto, his former and only girlfriend, and her brother. He goes to work as a salesboy, where he was mocked and scolded by his boss, who tells him how pathetic his life is, plus he is still a virgin and doesn't have any girlfriend. After work, he goes to the train station, contemplating on how messed up his life is. He was pushed in front of a moving train and almost got hit, but sees himself in the past. He was confused as he sees his former friends and gang mates of the Mizo crew. He was taken to a school Shibuko to challenge their seniors to fight. Kiyomasa and his followers confronted them. The Mizo crew placed their fate on Masaru, Takamichi's cousin, who they thought was in a strong gang, but turns out Masaru was just a slave for Kiyomasa. They tried to run away, but was captured and beaten senseless. They made the Mizo crew their slaves. Takamichi was frustrated and goes to Hina, his girlfriend's house. Hina cleaned his injuries and covered it. She tells Takamichi that he is strong and he should work harder. Takamichi goes to the park and sees Naoto, Hina's brother, getting bullied. He saved Naoto by unintentionally making a fool of himself. He tells Naoto that his sister is going to die 10 years from now, that he should save her and protect her. Before they path ways, Takamichi and Naoto shakes hands and Takamichi was taken back to the present. He meets Naoto waiting for him. Naoto tells him that he is the one that saved Takamichi from the train. He takes him to his house and explained why Hina died. He tells Takamichi to stop Mikey from meeting Kasaki in order to save his sister. He shakes hands with Takamichi and sends him back to the past. Takamichi sees himself in the middle of a fight hosted by Kiyomasa. He was punched and he faints. When he wakes up, Takuya Yamamoto, one of his friend and Mizo member, was told to fight. Next, Takuya has a weak body. Takamichi remembers on this day Akin was arrested for stabbing Kiyomasa. He stops Akin and challenges Kiyomasa to a battle of king and slave. Takamichi was beaten badly by Kiyomasa, but was saved by Seino Manjiro, Mikey and Raiguji. Ken Draken, the president and vice president of Tokyo Manji gang. Mikey befriends Takamichi and destroys Kiyomasa with a nuclear kick. On their way home, Akin thanks Takamichi for stopping him from stabbing Kiyomasa. Takamichi goes to Hina house to watch the fireworks with her. He tries to hold her hand and held Naoto's hand instead and was taken back to the present. Naoto tells him to kill Mikey in order to save his sister and sends him back to the past. Takamichi sees himself in his school. Mikey and Draken came to invite him to hang out. They beat up Takamichi's school seniors and took him with them. On their way out, Hina stopped them. She slapped Mikey thinking they are bullying Takamichi. She tried to leave. Takamichi saw Hina was trembling and challenged Draken. He tells Mikey he should not lay a finger on Hina. Mikey playfully hits his forehead and tells him they would never hit a girl. They all goes bicycle riding at a river bank. Mikey invites Takamichi to their next Toman meeting. Next, in the meeting, Kiyomasa was uninvited from the meeting by Draken and sent away. He meets Kasaki afterwards. In the meeting, Mobui's matter was discussed. Asanai and his gangmates beat up Pa-chin's best friend and his girlfriend, and they set a date for their battle. Takamichi goes back to the present, where he meets Akin. Akin confesses that he was the one that pushed Takamichi. Before jumping down from the building, told Takamichi to save everyone. Naoto mistakenly shakes Takamichi and sent him to the past. Takamichi sees himself on a bicycle with Akin. He goes to meet Naoto, but he traveled to Hawaii for a school trip. Mikey and Draken went to the hospital to see the girl that was beaten up by Mobui's aunt. Apologized to her family by bowing their head. Takamichi goes to their meeting spot and tells them to call of the fight with Mobui's. Because it would lead to the death of someone, but it was already too late as Asanai and his Mobui's gangmates enters the scene. Pa-chin challenged Asanai and was defeated. Mikey came forward and lands a nuclear kick at Asanai and he was knocked down. Next, we see Asanai with Kasaki and Hanma on a festival. Takamichi and Hina went on a date to the festival. Takamichi sees Kiyomasa with Mobui's members. He was caught, beaten and tied. Draken and Mikey was separated, and Draken was attacked by Asanai and Mobui's. Mikey realizes that Draken was in trouble and drove to meet him. He meets Kasaki but rushes to Draken, who was already beaten by Mobui's. Takamichi was saved by Hina, where he received his first kiss. We see a flashback on how Takamichi and Hina met. He saved her from a bully by acting crazy. Mikey and Toman arrives at the scene, and we see a full battle with Mobui's. Takamichi enters the battle. He sees Kiyomasa as he's behind Draken and stabs him. Takamichi goes to help Draken. He carried him on his back and tried to leave the battlefield but was stopped by Mobui's members. The Mizo mid-crew showed up and cleared the way for him. He goes out, but was stopped again by Kiyomasa. Draken tells him to leave him and run. But he tells Draken to shut up and rest. He faces Kiyomasa and says this is his personal revenge and attacks Kiyomasa. He was beaten again by Kiyomasa, but he jumped on Kiyomasa's back and strangles him. Takamichi finally defeated him. Next, we see Mikey as he clears the battle and rushes to the hospital to meet Takamichi. Draken's surgery was successful. Mikey goes to the back of the hospital and cries. The future finally changed. We see Takamichi running to Naoto's house. He passes Akin, who is now working in a hair salon. We see the dragon tattoo on Mikey's neck disappear. Takamichi reaches Naoto's house and knocks. The door was opened by Hina, who smiles and tells him he always shows up so sudden.